Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned. Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings Today. We have a trending news here for you. And the headline of the news reads, Governor Seyi Makinde leads again as he positions Southwest for quick dispensation of justice. But before we continue with details of the news and further analysis, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish our videos on YouTube. All right, let's look at the news in detail.
The engineer turned politician governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, is in the news again. Don't forget, very recently he also was the lead in the issue of turning anti-grazing bill into law in the same Oyo State. Well, he has taken to his handle and he said, this morning I have inaugurated Oyo State Judiciary Service Commission. This commission has an important mandate to ensure the independence of the judiciary and the quick dispensation of justice. He didn't stop there. He also congratulated the newly sworn in members. He quickly swore them in of the commission. He said, and I quote, I stated that I was looking forward to working with them to bring about the judiciary reforms that will make Oyo State set the pace in quicker and better dispensation of justice. A lot of persons have started reacting. Those from Oyo State are so happy. A lot of them are so happy. They said, Omi tutu nijo. Thank God I did not waste my vote. That's how they reported me to some people that I was campaigning for in Yogidi. That's better person. They swear not to pay my Empower allowance again, but I move on. I know you will always make us happy in Oyo State. And that person said, Choi, I seriously need to go and settle in Oyo State. I smell good meals of governance from their kitchen. And that person said, Your Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde, I want to use this opportunity to thank you and all Southwestern governors for initiating Amotekun. It's really a commendable effort for creating such an outfit, but I would like to advise especially on the aspect of Amotekun's salaries. He said, he went for that. Another person said, well done, sir, the best governor so far. God bless you, sir. Another person said, well done, sir, working governor. A lot of responses. And another person here said, may God bless your good plans and make it fruitful beyond your expectations. May good governance, primarily for the people's good, be the norm in Oyo State. May good governance rule the entire Southwest. May it take root throughout Nigeria in Jesus' name. Another person said, you have a good heart and I pray for more wisdom from God for you. I pray that God takes away the sharks in the system that will not allow your good intentions for the masses to work in Jesus' name. A whole lot. Another person said, Your Excellency, you guys should not bow down to the backing of Hausa Fulani. Buhari declaring Amotekun as illegal. Fulanization agenda is silently on. Funalis are committing crimes in Southwest, nothing was done. Amotekun has come to protest Amotekun all the way. A whole lot of reaction. The people are happy, the people are excited.
All right, thank you very much. We want to look at this guy because, that's why it's overly important for electorates to always be reasonable. For electorates to be reasonable when they are thinking of voting in people. First of all, look at the profile of the person that you're about to bring into power, and then on the basis of who he is, you will now know what kind of step to take and who you feel is ideal to, vote into power. I will always say it that there are a lot of persons in Nigeria whom I believe if they have been given an opportunity to lead this country, where we are today, where we would have been today would have been so glorious. The likes of someone like Tony Elumelu, other guys, countless of them. There are so many that if you give them an opportunity to lead this country, there won't be any element of regret. And I think that was the part that the Your State indigent told, and they had to select one whom they believe has the capacity to lead their state to an enviable level. Some of the governors, guess what? There are some governors who get into position, they don't even know what they are going there to do. They are only trying to fulfill what I would call their own political plan. And that political plan is my turn for me to be there. It is my turn for me to eat the national cake. It is the turn of our tribe to get there. They don't even have a plan for their people. So you see that they come in, for example, sorry to say this, I need to mention names here. For example, Rocha Sokorocha, when he came on board, it was as if he had a great plan for the people. But by the time he went in there, clearly you will see that he doesn't even have a plan. And that is why he was raising all manner of structure and bringing in for history. We want to keep our history in there, as if the internet is not there to keep the history for the upcoming generation. Now we want to build all those things and all of that. What did he really do for the Molites? Nothing reasonable. But for you to, to know that there's someone who sat back and planned, as I'm entering into government, what are the key issues in the society that I must put a lasting solution to? He sat back, reasoned it out, and then moved. How do you even know who this guy is? First of all, Seyi Makinde is an engineer. I'm not trying to blow his trumpet, but I'm just trying to show that Nigerians will begin to, know how to vote people into power. Number one, this guy is an engineer, and he is also a businessman. When it was time for us to declare asset, what the guy declared, he was almost the first in the list among all the governors that declared his asset, just to show you, man, I've got nothing to hide. And what did we see? What was his word? 48 billion naira. Bobo, don't they work hard? Don't they strategically position himself to do great business? He is a strategic businessman. So he had already programmed himself before he came on board. For someone to do business and grow in value up to 48 billion without any input from political money, it clearly shows that he really Bobo really planned himself well. Now, and I tried to look through, what he was doing. Said that, number one, he owns the following companies: Makun Engineering and Technical Service Limited, Energy Trader and Technical Service Limited, Makun Oil and Gas Limited, Makun Group Limited, Makun Construction Limited, Makun Power System Limited. He has invested in oil and gas for many years. He has invested in power and engineering a lot. I don't want to, read everything. Most of his assets are in billions. He has gotten loans from banks and managed those loans to a point that whereby he ended up producing profit with it. Just to show you, man, this is the kind of person that we need. Now, when he came on board, expectation was like, such a rich dude, he's going to be, running after the monies of the people and all of that. Up till today, he's still driving his private car. When he came on board, he clearly made it open, let the people know that, hey, I can now see the reason why they are cheats in government, that they are not paying people the way they ought to pay them, and he solicited for it. Now, during the period of when they were talking about this Amaku something, he supported it and gave almost 30 cars. This is the same guy who has tried packaging Your State, let it become, I personally, I just want to say this on a personal note, that guy, I think in 2023, if he goes for presidency, even if nobody votes him, I will personally vote for him, because if that guy is given a chance in Nigeria, he will fix this country and make this country very reasonable. Now look at what the new step he has taken to help, because there are a lot of things that are happening. You go and see prisoners. Some people have been in prison for years, waiting for trial, for them to go for trial. They have not been charged to court. They just pack them and go and keep. That's why we hate cases where all our prisons are. We are building even new prison, because they are most people that they frustrate them, take them to this thing and just keep them there. Imagine the case of Shehu Sani. Shehu Sani said they have not yet charged him to court. Why should you keep one hostage as if he has already been charged with a criminal, whatever he has been charged for carrying out a criminal act or something? You take him to prison and you just keep him there. They said we are interrogating him. We are doing this. Why don't you go straight to the point and get this thing fixed once and for all? And that's what he's doing. He believes that there are some judicial reforms that they are going to bring up, and so that we decongest our prison. There are some persons who are there for no just cause. You just, hey, what's your case? You handle it. If you want to take him to prison, you take him to prison. If you don't want to take him to prison, you free him and send him packing. Than to, because I realize that some persons say they love to hijack people and take them to prison. Just keep him there. Say, let him stay there for 3 months. All these politicians, most of them, that's what they are doing. So I think the step he has said clearly shows this guy was planning for his state. And I can assure you that in the nearest future, if he continues like this, the people of Oyo State will celebrate him as an icon.
Already Oyo has changed. From what I'm seeing, he's starting from the grassroots. You know, what my colleague said is nothing but the truth. Sometimes it's necessary to look at the pedigree, the profile of every aspirant, political aspirant that is vying for any position in Nigeria. See what they have managed thus far and see if they are capable of managing whatever portfolio they are carrying. You can imagine the kind of companies that Seyi Makinde had been managing before now that made him a billionaire. Now, with that, in mind, he already has strategic thinking. Strategic thinking is part of his norm of who he is. So by the time he came into a position, he was just thinking, how do I correct some of the ills? It's from correcting from the grassroots, correcting some of the ills, then I can now move into good, proper governance. So his insecurity was one of them. He saw some of the things that is peculiar to Oyo State, and I feel that it's even peculiar to all states in Nigeria. And already, even Nigerians are beginning to see, so he's the first person to bring this whole anti-grazing bill into law. Up till now, a lot of states are avoiding that particular system. They're avoiding that style because they don't want to be in the wrong books of the present-day government. Who cares? Seyi Makinde is just telling them, look, if all he wants to know is it in line with the Constitution of Nigeria? If yes, then I'll deal. And another thing again is that probably he does not have any cockroach in his cupboard. There's no EFCC, to bend his hand. So, he can do whatever he feels is constitutionally right. He must have asked, liaise with his state House of Assembly, and they said it's doable. Yes, the Fulanis have taken him to court, but it's the law, and it's constitutionally right. So there's really little or nothing the government of the day can do. And now this, I'm sure before he ventured into commissioning this so that, to ease quick of a lot of things, he must have seen a lot of decay in the system and said, look, we can't keep waiting for so many court cases at the same time. There are backlogs of, things to be attended to. So we need to speed up, expedite this as much as we can. So he did this. He must have asked, is it within the law? Is it constitutionally right for we to do this? And they must have given him go ahead. And he didn't just wait for the Fed. He didn't have to go to Aso Rock to ask for verdict. That's what true federalism is all about. He doesn't need to go to the center to ask, should we do this? If it's within the Constitution of Nigeria to do it, why not if not? So he did it, swore them in immediately. Just like Amotekun. Already Amotekun is beginning to have generated so much, but that's on the regional level. If it was left alone for Seyi, I'm sure by now they would have even started working. Left for Seyi, you can see anti-grazing into law. When he turned anti-grazing bill into law, he didn't take permission. He just, within themselves, they passed it. By the time the central will know, it was already operational. The same thing with this commission. He has sworn them in. No time in this dispensation we are in with this present day government. You don't waste time. If you think it's constitutionally right, do it before you begin to see people begin to drag loopholes and saboteurs everywhere. If you feel you are right, do it. Honestly, Oyo State is blessed with a wonderful governor because it is rare in our time, it's rare in Nigeria to have such in place. I'm not saying we don't have such in Nigeria, but usually Nigerians have always never been blessed with such in place.
All right, thank you very much. That's where we're going to leave it. Go to our comment section, let us interact. What's your position about the new step taken by Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State to quicken the speedy